My mom once told me that when she was pregnant with me, she prayed for a boy. She already had two sons, but my dad wanted just one more son. He spoke about it like he was building a team. But when I was born and the nurse announced, "It's a girl," my dad didn't even come near me. He walked out of the room. For 2 days, he didn't say a word to my mom. She laughed when she told me this. I didn't. That moment set the tone for the rest of my life. My brothers were treated like royalty. My dad sent them to private schools, bought them shiny new bikes, and made sure they had everything. I was sent to a small government school, no library, broken desks, overcrowded classes. Still, I studied hard. I read under streetlights when power went out. And somehow, I scored higher marks than all of them. But even when I came home with medals, they brushed it aside. My grandmother once said, "A clever girl is still just a girl." My dad added, "Girls end up in kitchens anyway." But I kept going. At 18, I won a full scholarship for writing, the first in my family to ever achieve that. I brought the letter home, heart pounding. My mom smiled quietly. My dad glanced at it and muttered, "So you're finally leaving?" I packed my bags. No hugs, no farewells. I left the way I had lived, quietly. In the city, I worked part-time in a bookstore to cover rent. I wrote at night. I graduated with honors. Later, I found a job in publishing, modest, but enough to stand on my own. Somewhere along the way, I also found love, real love. He saw me, truly saw me, like no one else ever had. Together, we built a small, peaceful life. No shouting, no drama, just respect, laughter, and quiet mornings over coffee. Then one day, I got a call from an old neighbor, a kind auntie from my childhood street. Her voice was soft. "Beta, you should come. Your brothers left them in an old age home." I went silent. She whispered, "They didn't even say goodbye." I still remember walking into that home, my chest heavy but steady. My parents sat together, smaller than I remembered, dressed in worn clothes. My once proud father now looked frail, ashamed. My mother turned her face away. I sat down and handed them the fruit I'd brought, not out of duty, but out of something deeper, not forgiveness, something stronger. I asked the staff about blankets, warm clothes, anything comfortable. They had none, so I bought what they needed myself. I didn't expect thanks, but when I looked up, I saw something new in my father's eyes. Not pride, not regret, respect, for the first time. His voice trembled. You, you came?" I didn't smile. I only said, "I'm not like them." Because even though they abandoned me when I needed them most, in the end, I became the one they needed. And sometimes love means walking away and still choosing to return.